in secondary school as a teenager, I would use my mom's credit card and shop on Forever 21 and sell sell the stuff that I bought to like my teachers and my mom coworkers and her friends.
Are here just getting to know more about her business. She's a designer of Loud by Afiya. I have one of her pieces that I bought a few years back, but we're here to talk about her journey in being a fashion designer and stylist, her current collaborations, and of course, we always have to talk about music and fashion and the intersection of those. So, welcome, Afiya.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm
Thank
excited for
you.
this interview.
Yes, yes, me too. I always love talking to designers, especially from the region, because as so much changes in terms of fashion and style, and also digital has made us feel closer in terms
Yeah.
of inspiration and accessibility. So I'm really curious about your story. Like, tell me about how you got started in fashion designing.
Um, well, I was in secondary school, so I was like a teenager in um Form 6. And the University of Trinidad and Tobago, they came to our school to promote their courses. And one of the programs was fashion management. But funny story, I was actually casted as a model first. And I wasn't interested in fashion because I didn't know what I wanted to do after school. So I was just kind of lost as to what would be my next move or what degree to go and study. And I started to go to the modeling practices, which was at UTT on the floor that they had the fashion program. And I was like, you know what? I really don't know what I want to do and I have to do something. So I'm going to sign up. And that was the first time that I actually saw fashion as a business. And it's so strange because we all wear clothes. So it's like $1 trillion industry. But e- I never thought of fashion equals business equals lifestyle equals something that you can make a living off of. And that is really how I started. I started when I went to UTT, I started making jewelry. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a jewelry designer. And I was doing well. And I I am friends with two girls, and they had a store at the time, Anisha and Latoya, and they kind of influenced me as well as Catherine. She was a classmate of mine, influenced me to open a store. Because before, when I was like in secondary school as a teenager, I would use my mom's credit card and shop on Forever 21 and sell sell the stuff that I bought to like my teachers and my mom coworkers and her friends, and just random people on Facebook. I used to put it on my Facebook profile, and I made my mom make this catalog for me on an Excel spreadsheet and print it out. And I used to go around saying like, "Do you want anything?" So they were like, just do the same thing but in a store. And opening came up in the mall that they had, like a small plaza that they had their store in. And so I took a booth there. um and I was at school. I was going to UTT studying fashion at the same time, so I would go to work in my store during the day. It was a small boutique. And go to school in the evening. And if sometimes my mom would have to come open the store for me, but to close it late because I would have to like run away to go to class. And I mean, like, it was just such a big learning experience because really I started as a teenager with this whole catalog selling online. And then when I went to UGT, I think I was like 20 years old or 21 years old at the time when I opened my first boutique. But the problem was a lot of people would come in and they would say they kind of fed up of saying the same things in all the same, like every store has the same stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should start to design my own stuff because that's the only way I'll get things that are different. Because really, all the sites that I shop from have similar items anyway. Um, and I met a lady of which she does my production now. She owns a factory, and she was like, we could do production for you if you wanted to do a collection. Um, and I did my first collection of pants, and it really sold out. And then my design started to sell more than the clothes that I was bringing in. Um, so I had a baby, so I stopped doing everything that I was doing to focus on being a mom. And Then when I went back out to work, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to design. I wanted something a little more stable. So I went and I applied for jobs and I became the marketing manager of a company. And then um I was retrenched. And so that was really tough. But in the retrenchment, we got like a severance package. And I took all of that money and I put it into creating a collection. And it did so well. And it continued to do well that I opened another store. And this time in that store, I only sold my design. So that was like a big learning experience for me to do indeed like an entire production for a store. So yeah, so that's pretty much how I got started.
I'm listening to your story and you're saying and you're telling it with such a nonchalant, humble attitude that I'm like, do you realize that you were a fashion buyer for your own boutique at 17, 18? Like looking back on that, like to me, that's a big moment that you probably didn't even really think of it at the time. But now that you know
No,
the industry, like looking back on your 17 and 18-year-old self, like you must be like, I would be so proud of me at that age. You know what I mean? Like that's a
came
big
back, yes,
deal.
but at the time it was just like people used to like even before then, before I took my mom's credit card to shop, what led to that was a lot of people liked my style. And the way that I would put things together. So they'd be like, where'd you get your stuff? And I was shopping online. And in Trinidad, that wasn't such a big thing at the time. So I'm like, well, I could shop for you. And then my mom, her friends would say, hey, what Afiya's doing? Like, could she come shop with us? So, and I'm like, me, like, I'm a child. Like, why do they want me to come?
So
Um,
not only are you a fashion buyer, but you're a stylist as well. Like it came so naturally to you, but you know,
yeah.
you kind of took these talents and created this business from scratch. I think do you find yourself now getting in your head more because you know so much more about the business, or is that same brave person still in there pushing and pushing the business forward?
Um, it's a bit of both. Um, Business is challenging. And sometimes those challenges and sometimes failures can kind of make you second guess yourself a lot. So sometimes I do have those moments where I'm like, okay, should I do this? I'm not too sure. I don't want to take this big risk. But the old me would be like, girl, just do it. And if you fail, you fail, and then you just move on to something else. Um, so that is a struggle for me right now. With things, but the business is always evolving and it's always growing. So even though I might have experience from the past, like what I'm doing now, or I might change my business model and it's something completely new, and then I have to go and do more research and just to make sure that I'm making like guided decisions because it's no longer me just taking a credit card and just buying, a couple thousands in clothes. Um, and selling it is like is a lot more money involved. Is more detailed production. Like everything has to be on point. So there's a lot more pressure too, but I do enjoy it. Um, so yeah, so it has its challenges, but it's nothing that you can't like get over.
Talk to me about that first collection that you did for your own boutique. Like what was that process like and how have has that evolved over the years?
Um, how did I even design that first collection? Well, it was only pants because I'm obsessed with pants. Like at one point as a child, I had so much pants and like so few tops, and it was so funny because I could never find a top, but I could always find a pants. Um, and I'm still like that even today. So my first collection was only pants and shorts, and I wanted it to be different. So I did a lot of research like on Pinterest and find like inspiration, and then I combined everything that I saw and I sketched it out. Um, Being in fashion school kind of helped as well with the business side of things. And then a company called Trinidad Lookbook, Mel Gabriel, she had her first fashion show, which was Style Spirit, was it? And I asked her, I was like, could I be in the show? Because I want to do like a collection of pants. And she was like, yeah. So that was the first fashion show that I was in. And Facebook was so much easier at the time. Like the algorithm was very, it was amazing. And Instagram. So when I posted those things, like everybody saw it, and people really were really interested in getting the stuff afterwards. But the thing is, like when I did that fashion show, I didn't think about selling it in the store. Funny enough, people who saw it was like, so where can I get it afterwards? And I was like, okay, maybe I should also think about production. And not just producing a collection. So I was like, well, I have a store and you could come and I can measure you. And, you know, a lot of the things were like made to order. Um, a big hurdle for me was also getting the sizing down, like small, medium, large, because our Caribbean bodies are a little bit different. So the typical American US sizing didn't really work for the pants too well. So that was a good learning experience in the beginning. So I could kind of like flesh that out. Yeah.
So you mentioned something that I think, I don't know if it's done a whole lot, but made to order, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, do you still do a lot of that
No,
or
no,
okay,
I don't do that at all.
okay.
Maybe for select customers if they want like something custom designed, but I try to stay away from that. So right now I would do production in different sizes and I would have them available. But I would say for anybody starting out and you don't want to invest too much capital because you don't know if a collection is going to do well or not, start with maybe one or two pieces and do like pre-orders or made to order and see like, you know, which one is the best seller, which one you should stop doing. It's a really nice and cost effective way to start without too much risk.
And you talked a little bit about the impact of social media like Facebook and Instagram. And there has been so many different changes in terms of you mentioned the algorithm. What are the newer challenges now from a selling standpoint of the business and the brand and the style? Like, what are some of those challenges that you're kind of facing in terms of just e-commerce and accessibility?
Um, what I would say is it's a lot more expensive now because if you want to reach a wider audience, you do have to pay for it. And I can't blame Meta for that because they need to make money too. But at the same time, when I do post something, I want it to kind of reach organically as well. And then when I boost it, reach even more people now, I feel like I have to spend money if I want people to see it. But but there are tips and tricks. So like now we're in this influencer um phase where everybody's like on influencers, and the reason why people like influencers is because they feel like influencers don't try to sell to them, so they feel like it's more authentic opinions, and you know it's also a lot of storytelling. They get in to see a little glimpse into this person's lives, into these people lives, and I kind of realized that storytelling sells. So if like honestly, my sometimes my behind the scene video, because it tells a story, gets more views than the collection. And it's not that people that they don't like the clothes, but it's just like they're more interested in the story behind it. So I think you need to partner the two, well, with the paid ads and storytelling, because storytelling really does get you so far in terms of like views and engagement, and people would comment and you know congratulate you or share their opinions on things and just keep the conversation going. And then that's really important for Meta to see. So when they see all that engagement going on, then they would, you know, allow more people to see it. So it's kind of like freaking matter a little bit to your advantage.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, especially about fashion in the beauty space, particularly when it comes to influencers, is you can see and almost feel like what it looks like, the flow of the fabric, how it would, you kind of envision yourself in those items and
Yeah.
how it might, fit you in that manner. So I know that you have a really great collection and partnership with Caribbean Airlines. So talk to me about that partnership and how did that come about and what does it entail exactly?
So Lisa, so I was in a program with Fashion TT first of all, and that's how I met Lisa Daniel, and she's the
Hmm.
head of the program. So Fashion, no, what is the name of it? Fashion TT. Yeah, yes. So I was in a program at Fashion TT to help Trinidadian designers develop their businesses and not
Hmm.
just have like the craft side of it or um or the design side of it, but also like to propel the business and help it grow and to develop the industry in Trinidad. And
Mhm.
because I was part of the program, she knew about me and she was like, she called me one night and she's like, listen, there's this opportunity that I want to recommend you for. I want to know if you could do it. And I was like, well, I don't know. And it's just like, no, you have to do it. And I was like, okay. In my mind, I was like, okay, so I don't have a choice. But it was a huge opportunity. And she told me they will contact me the next day. She's like, it's Caribbean Airlines and they want to get some designers into their duty free store, and this is a good opportunity. And I was telling her, I was like, well, I don't really have anything right now. And she's like, no, but you could do it. And I was like, yes, yes, I could do it. And
Sometimes you need that push. You're like, yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna do it. You'll
yeah.
figure it out.
So, and then the next day, and the next morning, I got a message, um, from someone at Caribbean Airlines, Alicia, and she kind of gave me an idea of what they wanted. And I still had a lot of doubts because my factory was producing for a carnival band at the time. And so they wouldn't be able to produce for me. So that kind of pushed me to find my own people to produce for me, which is what I wanted to do. I mean, like all along, because sometimes with factories, you have to book an appointment, like or book a space for them to produce for you. And then when they are finished with you, they're gonna move on to another business or to another project. So sometimes I would have to wait my turn to get stuff done. And that's not always good on my end, business wise, because customers don't want to wait. Um, so I did find people. Of course, I didn't let Caribbean Airlines know that. I was just like, I was just like, yes, I could do it. Like, it's not a problem. But I already had people that I worked with before in the past. And I told them, I was like, yes, and you all need to sew this for me. I'll give you all the patterns and everything. And I kind of had to use my resources. I was like, just calling on my friends, anybody who could sew, because I needed just one more person. Um, and then it turned out somebody who used to sew for me moved back closer to where I was. Because before they moved to somewhere like kind of far away, and I really didn't want to have to go so far. And I asked him, I was like, do you still have machine issues? Because we had some issues, some technical issues before with him. And he was like, no, he got everything fixed. And so he's game to produce. So everything was done. I split production between three people because I found three people. Split production between three people because the timeline was really, really short. They were like, okay, like, oh, we want to have this launch and whatever. And I'm like, okay, this sounds great. I could definitely do this. When do you want to launch? Next week. I was like, what? Next week? I was like, okay, let's do this. But I did get everything done in time. And even when I couldn't get everything done in time, I would definitely tell them upfront and be like, okay, this is what you could get now for the launch. So I made sure that I could have given them at least one in each design for the fashion show that they wanted to launch with. And then I told them when I could realistically do production. Um, so it was like a mix of both, just being honest and pushing my team to really produce, and we did everything in time, thankfully. Um, because Caribbean Airlines also moved their deadline too, which was like an act of God to me because I'm like, I don't know how am I gonna do this in a week? But then they were like, okay, no, we're gonna push it back because we have some things that we have to do. So it was really good. It was a good learning experience. It taught me a lot in terms of how to manage myself and push myself and believe like more in myself and what my capabilities are as well.
I love that. So you had to get enough product for their fashion show. So you had to have all the designs, and then
Yeah.
fulfillment of being in the duty free shops. How many shops is it, or is it how does?
I think for now they're just doing their duty free store in Trinidad at the
Okay,
airport,
okay,
and they also have a website.
okay.
So no matter which country you're flying from, you could go on the website and you could purchase duty free items off of their e-commerce site.
And what you talked a little bit about like the learning experience from the partnership, but have in terms of like the business side, how has that kind of amplified you as a designer from the region?
Um, I feel like this was the first time that I collaborated with a big brand like this. So I
Hmm.
was just more of like trying to just soak up everything, seeing how,
Yeah.
how to work, how to be as professional as possible. Especially from as a young designer, you don't want to have a bad reputation because this is like a big company, and you don't want people to start saying like I had such a bad experience with Loud Wifi and we'll never use her again. And then that would also, you know, trickle down to other people and other companies. And, so I was just trying to just put my best foot forward, but at the same time also protect my business and not put myself in a position where I can't produce, and also have negotiations with them for me to be like, okay, to be fair, like this is what I need and this is what you need. So can we meet somewhere in the middle? Like this, these are my like my guidelines. This is my contract. This is what I need from you. And they also told me what they needed from me. And it was just a good experience. Everything went well. I am a little bit, I don't know if you want to call it superstitious, but I also do believe in not saying anything until something is done. So I didn't tell anybody. Um, and every problem that came about was solved within hours. Just like think quick on your feet, like be very solution based and not worry about the problems too much. So I mean like it was a really good learning experience from the business side of things in terms of like how to set boundaries with companies, because sometimes you might feel like this is such a big company and this is a big opportunity. So I'm just gonna say yes, 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 and I'm not gonna worry about certain things. And it's like, no, I have to benefit from this too. So yeah, I need to be able to, I need this percent as a down payment, and so it was really good. It was good, and I learned a lot, and I solved all the issues, which I'm still shocked, surprised at myself this day because there was so much going on at the same time. um so yeah, it was really good. And Caribbean Airlines, honestly, working with them was so easy, even though they had like tight deadlines. They were very nice, very understanding, very pleasant, very communicative. Yeah.
No, that sounds like a really great partnership. So, in terms of what you want to do next and what's next for you in terms of design, how do you want to grow the business and what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to exporting more outside of Trinidad. I'm already doing it now, but I do want to get more partnership with like boutiques and stores to sell my designs. Because recently I changed my business model, so I'm no longer really interested in having like a physical store anymore. I feel
Mhm.
like because of COVID, it kind of opened up online shopping a lot and got people used to it in Trinidad.
Mhm.
Um, So now a lot of people are, but when I had, well, because I had a store before, so
Mhm.
people would be like, okay, I checked the website and I didn't see this, but I saw that you posted it on Instagram or whatever. So instead of coming to the store first, they would check the website first. So I'm like, if people are checking
Mm.
the website and they're looking to purchase from the website, even my orders, people will order online and pick up in store. They wouldn't really try on too much. They're like, do I need this store? Do I need this overhead? Or could I put more of this money into production and expand? And that's what I did. So I revamped my website and hired a team for the website. Well, the team is just one guy, well, two guys. And so they take care of like the back end of things in terms of like making sure that it's up and running. And I would do all the editing of products on the site and just ship stuff out. And it's so much easier. Um, and what I would do instead of getting that, having that responsibility and that overhead of renting a store, I might do pop up shops. Well, I do pop up shops, or rent a space in somebody's store for a period of time. Um, so that's my business model now. So I want to continue getting more stores on board.
And she ships internationally, guys. So you guys
Yeah.
can order and know it's being made by her and her team and shipped with love from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, you can shop on loudbyafia.com. It's really easy, and shipping internationally takes about 4 to 5 working days with DHL.
Okay, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, so we gotta get into some cultural questions with you. Like, I want to know. So you talked a little bit about your early styling days. If you could style
Yes.
any celebrity, who would it be? With Loud by Afiya.
I can only choose one.
No, you more than one.
Okay. So I feel like my top two or three, I definitely want to style Rihanna, or at least I feel like you can't really style Rihanna. I feel like you could give her an item and she would make it her own.
Mm,
So I would be really interested to see like how she would work with one of my pieces because she's like an amazing style icon. And I would also want to work with Oprah and Michelle Obama. And I feel like this is more for personal reasons. I would want to talk to them and let them give me advice because I feel like they're so great. I'm like, fix me, fix my life. But wear this dress or wear this shirt. So
yes.
yeah, I do think that those are really influential women, and they're such like movers and shakers in society, and I would be honored if they would wear my designs.
And you talked a little bit about your career in modeling, and you live in the soca capital. Uh, can I say soca capital? Without other islands coming for me. Um, how do music and fashion go together for you and for your brand?
um Culturally, I think that it is intertwined 100%. Because the way that we dress in the Caribbean, the music that we listen to, the way that we move is so unique, and it plays, it's like hand in hand. Even if you look at carnival, like when I do my carnival designs, I'm like, how is this gonna move on the road? How is this gonna look, like
Mhm.
dancing outside? How is it gonna feel? And our culture in the Caribbean is such a it's so social, it's so together, it's so like we always liming and hanging out, dancing. So I just feel like it's just a good time. Like without music, you wouldn't have any fun. You wouldn't have like any deep feelings. Like it just brings out so much. And then without fashion, I feel like for me, fashion makes me happy. If I look good, I feel good. Even if I'm like
Mhm.
down, at least I know I'm looking good. And then somebody might just say, "Oh my god, I love that outfit," and then I'll feel better. And I'm like, "Well, was I even sad?"
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I do think that it definitely goes hand in hand, especially in the Caribbean and with our culture with like soca and dancehall. When you look at the music videos or you look at these carnival bands, like it definitely it trickles down into everyday wear as well too.
What is one of your favorite pieces from your brand?
Oh, one of my favorite pieces. I would have to say my sheer pants. So I have these pants that I design and it has like a little extra flare at the
Mhm.
side. Because
Mhm.
I'm a pants girl, always,
Yep.
always. Like I just can't. Everything is like I just have to wear pants. Um, that's definitely one of my favorite ones because you could dress it up, you could dress it down, um, and still look fly. You could wear it with sneakers or sandals or heels, and yeah.
All right, so you're going out on a Friday night, getting ready to line with your friends. What are you wearing?
On a Friday night, I might wear my. So I really like the Adidas Samba sneakers now. So I'll
Mhm.
probably wear that with the sheer pants and maybe like a tank top. And depending on how cool it is outside, maybe like a denim jacket over it.
Mm, okay. And what trend, either resurging or new, do you are you into right now? Fashion trend.
Oh, what fashion trend? Um, I don't know if this is a trend, but I'm really into sneakers now and I haven't been before. Like I've always been like a sandals girl, slippers girl, or like mules. And I just feel like sneakers and everything, sneakers and dresses, sneakers and skirts, sneakers and pants. Like,
Yes.
and it looks really cool, but it's also
Yes.
so comfortable. I don't know if it's just the age that I'm at where my knees are like, oh, I need some comfort.
I
I need
hear you.
something
I
soft.
hear you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your time sharing your craft with the world, and tell everyone where they can find you.
So you could find me on all of my social media handles are the same, Loud by Afiya. And my website is loudbyafia.com. And you could